Professional wrestling is the one true sport. Other sports have their share of intense, dramatic moments, but nothing can compare with professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling History X, where three friends come together to talk about the stories behind the matches. I'm Matt.
I'm the Irish Bump Machine, John Finnegan.
And I am Bubba Shane Dudley.
Welcome to episode 178, Holiday Hell 1995.
The New York Invasion.
New York.
New York.
New York.
The Big Apple. Eh?
New York City.
What happened to Pennsylvania? What happened
Pennsylvania?
to Philly?
Fuck Philly. No, don't fuck Philly. Just... Philly, it's not you, it's me. Take a break.
Yeah, just let it down gently. We can still be friends.
So this was the third annual Holiday Hell, produced by ECW. It would take place on December 29th, 1995, from the Lost Battalion Hall in Rego Park, Queens, New York City, New York, with an attendance of 1,283 people.
Wow, this high school gym has a few extra seats.
Yeah, dude.
Just a few.
Nice.
That's fine.
That's fine, yeah,
We
absolutely.
get an extra 120 tickets or so.
Makes up for the traveling costs.
So.
It's not super far.
It's only about 200 miles.
It didn't fly or anything.
No, that's definitely
Yeah, it's definitely a driver.
a drive after the show back home. But we're not in Philly, guys.
We are not in Philly.
So that probably made Shane very happy.
Yeah.
It did. I'm,
second ECW show we've watched not in Philly.
Out of all of the ones.
Out of all
not,
the ones.
not just the last two.
Yeah.
Out of
All the ones.
Out of all the
Out
ones
of
we
all
watched.
178 episodes of our ECW podcast, we had to. No.
Feels that way sometimes.
Soon it'll
Yes.
just feel like a WWE one with all the Raws that we'll watch.
Yeah.
Oh, brother.
Hey, the Attitude Era is coming, brother.
It's history. Gotta watch it.
It's coming. And when it shows up, we're gonna be excited, and then we're gonna be like, But who knows? Maybe it'll be exciting the whole time.
But are we excited about this delectable delight
I'm excited for.
that Shane brought us?
Oh yeah, of course, always.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not bad.
Tell us what it is.
Yes.
He's really not stoked on this one.
We're in Queens, so I did as I do, where I looked up what are some foods, what are some drinks. Found out that there is a cocktail named after the borough itself, called the Queens Cocktail. As it states on my little note here, it's a New York City cocktail named after one of the 5 distinct boroughs. The Queens Cocktail is an easy-to-make and easier-to-enjoy beverage with a unique profile of flavors. Similar to another cocktail called the Bronx, the Queens Cocktail is said to have first been poured in the late 19th or early 20th century as a creative twist on a gin martini. The beverage is a prime choice for those who have a sweet tooth, with classical versions mixing pineapple or even orange juice with sweet vermouth. This one here is a mixture of dry gin, dry vermouth, sweet vermouth, and pineapple juice. It's a little heavy on the pineapple. It's got some floral notes to it. I've definitely had worse, but I've had better. It's not bad. It's just, or I should say, it's good, not great.
Yeah. I feel like I'm kind of just drinking pineapple.
Yes. Then it has like a. Do you ever chew on a pencil? And have
Embarrassing
like
to say, yes, I have
painty,
chewed on a
woody taste after just like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's just something in the back of it that's just kind of like.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know if I like that.
So yeah,
Chewing on a Ticonderoga.
try something new. I'm not normally a gin person, anyways, but
No,
I
me
figured
neither.
this was an interesting assortment. So what the hell, we'll try it.
Yeah.
It's cheap, so why not?
I'm good for
It's always fun to try new things.
Exactly.
a summer G&T. You can do this. That's nice.
I mean, a Philly show in New York.
Why not?
New stuff.
Exactly. I mean, ECW's trying something new. They're going to Queens.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well. I
We've
got
had-
120-ish more people.
We've had blood on the last 2 shows. Do you think we'll have it?
I can almost guarantee it.
They're on the road. If these New York fans don't get blood, they're probably gonna be pretty upset.
They're on a holiday in hell.
Well, something that would happen right around the same time as this show, actually, this very same day, a trio of films would be released to the theater. 12 Monkeys,
Terry Gilliam.
Dead Man Walking,
Loved it.
and Mr. Holland's Opus.
Loved it.
Saw Mr. Holland's Opus in the theater with my grandma, and all I remember is that it made me sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Something about his kid's deaf. Maybe he goes deaf and has a kid. I don't know. It's been a long time. I only saw it the one time in the theater.
His kid's deaf, and he just wants the attention that his music teacher dad gives to his student to be given to him. Until one day, his dad finally plays a song for him.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful boy.
Allowed him to hear the music.
Okay.
Yeah. That was his opus.
Why don't I know Dead Man Walking?
Sean Penn, Susan Sarandon,
He's
Oscar,
a prisoner.
She won
in jail.
Best Actress Oscar for
Really?
it. He was nominated for Best Actor. It was nominated for Best Picture. I think.
Sounds cool. I like
Screenplay.
I like Susan Sarandon quite a bit. I like Sean Penn at times.
Yeah, I made the mistake of watching Dead Man Walking and Leaving Las Vegas in the same night, back to back.
And you were bummed out.
Yes. Well, I threw in there also because I was working at Blockbuster at the time, and the movie.
Like
It's
you
My-
could watch those at Blockbuster.
Well, no, he just got free rentals because.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
Gotcha.
you weren't watching them afterward.
Yeah, and they came out around the same time, so I watched Leaving Las Vegas, Dead Man Walking, and It's My Party, which is like a story about a guy who is having like a farewell party for himself because he's dying of AIDS. So he,
Oh Jesus.
yeah. So it was like I watched this movie about a guy that's drinking himself to death, a movie about a guy on death row, and then a movie about a guy that's having a party to celebrate his death. And yeah, it was a very dark day. But all are great movies on this list here.
Absolutely.
You know what's crazy about the Leaving Las Vegas? The guy that wrote the novel, he was also an alcoholic. So that a little bit of art imitating life.
Oh, yeah.
He killed himself on April 10th, 94, 2 weeks after learning that his novel was going to be made into a movie.
Poetic.
Yeah, real sad shit. So just to bring it down because we're talking about sad movies.
Yeah.
Although 12 Monkeys is a dystopian, weird sci-fi Terry Gilliam movie. One of the better
So fucking great.
Terry Gilliam movies, and I'm a Terry Gilliam fan.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite Terry. I mean, we're not including the Monty Python because
No.
Yeah.
he directed them, but he didn't direct them.
I mean, yeah, those are Monty Python movies.
Yeah.
But what he learned there, I'm sure helped him into his more artistic foray into weirdo movies.
Yeah,
And-
this one, Bruce Willis, Madeline Stowe.
Yeah.
And then Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
Oscar
I
nominated.
mean,
for
Time
Footloose.
Bandits might be the only one that comes close to.
Yes,
I'm-
that was the one I was trying to think of.
To
but
12
The
Monkeys.
name hadn't come to mind
I'm
yet.
a Brazil guy,
Yeah, I know you
And-
know the Brazil.
and I love Fisher King as well. Well, I mean, I like a lot of his movies, but I haven't watched 12 Monkeys in a really, really long time, so it's due for a rewatch. Whereas I've
Never
watched-
watched the show. I'm kind of curious about that.
Oh, there is a show. I forgot about that.
Yeah, just I'd have to rewatch the movie anyways, just so I could refamiliarize because it's been more than a few years. But yeah, I wonder if it's mimicking the movie at all, or if it takes its own path altogether.
Yeah. So we got a crazy, sci-fi dystopian movie, a adult drama, and then a melancholy mom drama. Right? Only we're missing to the
Basically.
comedy. Although,
I mean, the kid's deaf.
That's ouch.
That's such a horrible joke. I'm sorry.
I thought it was really good, but
Puerto was fully deserving of the Oscar win this year. Damn it, fucking great.
But
another one that'll make you cry your ass off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dead Man Walking, great movie. Mr. Holland's Opus. I kind of wish he would have won the Oscar instead of Nicolas Cage, but I'm a toss-up there because Nicolas Cage was great in Leaving Las Vegas as well. Brad Pitt should have won the Oscar for 12 Monkeys, but that means that, what's his name? Kevin Spacey would not have won, so... Again, I don't know if that would have been a bad thing.
Looking back, it's probably not a bad thing, but at the time...
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, you know.
Kaiser Soze was a very intense part of movie history, but as is most anything Brad Pitt.
Well, let's talk some holiday hell, guys.
Woo!
We get the date and location before the title screen, and then we get shots of New York City with rabid fans chanting, EC Dub, EC Dub.
That shot of the city looks like it's just pulled from one of the SNL intros. I think they just like freeze framed it and like picked it and just like superimposed it in. I got a kick out of it. I was like, this looks like
SNL.
It looks like from SNL like in the 90s. But I got a kick out of that.
Joey Styles is in the ring. Oh my God! We're in New York City! New York City!
I mean, that's the way to open the show, right? With an oh my God.
Back outside the building, Sandman spits some beer on fans before yelling, New York City! Back in the ring, Paul Heyman has joined Joey. And he says, welcome to New fucking York. I'm like, they were already there. They actually should be welcoming you, Paul. But, yeah, whatever.
You welcome us to the show.
We then get the opening video package with highlights of our competitors before the logo. Styles then welcomes everyone to the show when Stevie Richards and the Blue Meanie interrupt. And the fans do not like them at all.
Nope.
And Joey accuses them of stealing the spotlight.
Stevie got his hair did, too. It's a little fancier than the last time I saw him.
He got edged up.
Shawn Michaels, just out of the Rockers look going on.
Oh, yeah. A little feathery.
Yep.
Stevie says all the TV and pay-per-view executives are there to see him and starts to insult the fans when he spots a lovely lady in the crowd. It's Missy Hyatt.
What?
I know. I was like, oh, Missy, where you been?
We haven't seen her since Starrcade 93, episode 107.
We thought Starrcade killed you off like it did most everybody else.
The trio then head out of the ring to where she's standing, where Richard says he knows who she is, and she can tell everyone exactly who he is. Which she does, calling him a clueless putz. Stevie then asks her if she got the letter he sent her, because he's a big fan, before inviting her to his limo after the show, only for her to laugh in his face. Richards then says he will get her a date with Raven, and that changes her mood. Takes her jacket off to show off her perfect matches, and starts to make out with Stevie. Missy tells him to give that to Raven, when Joey chimes in that he knows Raven too, which might be the best line ever.
Yeah, it was very fun.
But that sends us to our first match. Koji Nakagawa versus Taz with Bill Alfonso.
I don't have a whistle.
That was close enough.
Yeah.
So Koji is from FMW and is inspired by Bret the Hitman Hart at this point, which is why he was all in pink trunks. Doing a Hitman gimmick, basically.
All right.
But I have a fun note about this gentleman, because this is probably the only time we will ever see him. And this story is, like, I read it and I was just like, blew my mind a little bit.
All right. I'm ready.
So, in 2000, he changes his gimmick to be named Goemon, which is a dark thief character based on the historic Japanese thief. He would feud with another gentleman named Onru, who was a ghost wrestler. He had a pale face and clothes that would release ashes with each movement. Elements of his gimmick included the ability to turn invisible and disappear. Okay?
I'm listening.
Okay.
In this Goemon Onru feud, an item called the Belt of Curse was introduced and would be put on the line. The Belt of Curse is what originally turned Onru into a ghost, as it had slowly killed him as he held it.
It's like a Lord of the Rings kind of thing.
So our two gentlemen would face off, and Goemon would lose and would be handcuffed to the belt, and it would start to slowly kill him, weakening him, making him cough up blood during matches.
With great responsibility comes a potential for invisibility.
Goemon would then eventually die after bleeding out, but would return as a ghost as well, becoming Onru's tag team partner.
Holy crap. This is so stupid, I love it.
Right? That's exactly what I thought too, and I read
the
this.
long-term
Long-term
storytelling here, yeah.
What promotion was this, do you know?
FMW.
Oh, FMW, okay, that makes some sense. But that feels like I guess it's kind of extreme version of like DDT. It's like, oh, it's comedy, but it's also spooky. And we know that like Japanese have a bunch of ghosts, good and bad, and a lot of folklore. So I'm sure that it was not lost on their audience.
Kind of wonder what their tag team name was. If they were just Goemon and Onru, or if there's some Japanese ghost squad or something.
Or if that's like the Goemon and Onru thing is part of the folklore and they just acted it out plus wrestling. This is pretty interesting. I wonder if any of this is available. I don't know how
I'm interested in that than I thought I was going to be.
Yeah, me too. Matt was like, hey, take a look at this one.
I was reading this, I'm just like, what?
So many twists and turns. I'm not sure how much FMW is available on tape or anything. I really don't know. I never looked into it.
But enough about Goemon.
I mean, I'm so intrigued.
Bill takes the mic to say he doesn't need an introduction, but Joel Gertner makes one anyway. Alfonso then slaps Nakagawa before Taz shoves him, so Koji comes back with a slap to the human suplex machine. Which just seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
Taz hits a judo hip toss and a German suplex before tossing Nakagawa out to the floor, where Bill is just yelling at him.
And the crowd's yelling at Bill some, not some nice stuff.
The human suplex machine drags Koji back into the ring where he delivers right hands, only for Nakagawa to fight back with chops and drop kicks that do absolutely nothing to Taz. So Koji just gets nailed with a belly-to-belly suplex and multiple Tazplexes. The human suplex machine then locks on the Taz mission for the submission and the win.
I'd want to be a ghost too if I was just drop kicking Taz and nothing happened. I'd be like, well, I guess I guess I am in.
Post-match, Taz keeps the hold on until Fonzie tells him to release it. He then tosses Nakagawa out of the ring, while Bill takes the mic, threatening to stay in the ring all night long.
Sabu.
That no one in New York or in the WWF can beat Taz. The human suplex machine then takes the mic and starts insulting the fans, telling him he makes more money in one night than they make in a month, before telling them to fuck off.
Huh. I love that he says, let's no, he's like, you're calling for a Sabu, right? But that pussy's in the back, hiding under a table.
We then go to our second match. The Italian Stallion, JT Smith, versus Hack Meyers.
Shot!
And we haven't seen either one of these guys since Gangstas Paradise, episode 166. And they start off with some back and forth action until the crowd starts chanting that JT's got a boner, JT's got a boner.
Maybe he's just packing heat.
Which causes even Hack to laugh in the ring.
Yeah, JT plays it up and goes to the corner and tries to hide his erection.
The two then trade punches and kicks while the crowd chants Shaw for Hack and shit for Smith. JT then uses a low blow to take control, tossing Meyers out to the floor where Smith body slams him before climbing to the top turnbuckle. JT then lands a flying headbutt before rolling Hack back into the ring, where Smith body slams him again, followed by a handspring splash and a powerbomb for a 2 count. JT starts to head up top again, only this time he slips and falls, landing on his head.
You fucked up.
Allowing Meyers to take advantage with a top rope facebuster for the pin and the win.
Is this going to be the end to the Italian Stallion?
I mean, he landed on his head.
Is it going to be reversed?
Maybe he's going to be regular JT Smith. Maybe he'll be a ghost. As if he wasn't already.
That's just gonna like be our.
I'm sorry, it's too good.
Our booking decision for everything. Like, maybe he'll come back as a
instead
ghost.
of, and that's the last time
Is that our next?
saw Paul Orndorff. It'll be like, and Paul Orndorff became a ghost.
Next T-shirt.
Next T-shirt. He turns into a ghost. We then go to our third match: Mikey Whipwreck versus 2 Gold Scorpio.
Oh my.
For the ECW World Television and ECW World Tag Team Championships.
I'm not gonna lie. 2 Gold Scorpio. I dig that name a whole lot better than Becky 2 Belts.
Yeah, 2 Gold Scorpio is nicer.
Yeah.
It's a name perfect for having 2 belts. The tag title, is it both of them or just his belt and now he's got...
It is both of them.
Oh. So it could be Mikey 3 belts.
I mean, he's going to choose a partner.
Yeah, he'll choose a partner. But, he's going to have to walk out with all 3 of them.
Or maybe one will be thrusted upon him.
Who knows?
So the 2 men trade holds and reversals to begin when Scorpio hits a spinning heel kick and a baseball slide to send Mikey out to the floor. 2 Gold follows out to send him into the guardrail and hit a clothesline before they head back into the ring. Scorpio keeps up the attack with a big boot and clubbing forearms, sending Whipwreck to the ropes, only to be surprised by a head scissors and multiple drop kicks to send 2 Gold out to the floor. Mikey hits a baseball slide and the slingshot somersault plancha before tossing Scorpio into the guardrail. Back at the ring, Whipwreck climbs to the top and he comes off with a crossbody, but 2 Gold just moves to avoid. Scorpio hits a knee drop and looks for a powerbomb, only for Mikey to flip out of it and deliver a monkey flip. We see Missy Hyatt watching on, but when we come back, 2 Gold has wrecked Mikey's balls with a kick.
Aw, not as Mikey's.
Scorpio with a knee lift and a gut wrench powerbomb, and he makes a cover, but decides it's not enough punishment. 2 Gold then hits a tombstone piledriver and heads up top for a moonsault. He makes the cover, but again gets up. Scorpio continues with a body slam, a power bomb, and a moonsault leg drop, but he still wants to deliver more.
Moonsault leg drop, pretty cool.
I think he just over-rotated.
I think so, but it's like a cool idea, but the leg, it's like, oh man, a neat idea.
2 Gold then nails a super kick before spitting on Whipwreck, heading up top again, only for Mikey to meet him there to crotch him and deliver a super Franken Mikey for a near fall. Whipwreck's whip is reversed with Scorpio charging in with a splash, but Mikey moves out of the way, rolling up 2 Gold for a 2 count. Whipwreck's unloading with left hands and the ref tries to get in there to stop with the closed fists. When Scorpio kicks Mikey away, taking Whipwreck and the ref down.
Ref bump.
2 Gold then climbs to the top turnbuckle, coming off with a splash, but Mikey is moved, causing the ref to take the blow.
Ref bump.
Super kick by Scorpio, and he goes up top again for another splash, but there's no ref to make a count. Backbreaker, powerbomb, back to the top turnbuckle. But this time, Cactus Jack is run down and knocks 2 Gold down. Jack then jumps in the ring, hitting a double-arm DDT, placing Whipwreck on top for the pin and the win. And new. Post-match, Cactus Jack picks Mikey up and is hugging him. and Whipwreck has no clue what's going on.
I mean, you got to beat down pretty hard.
Jack grabs the other tag belt, so I guess he wants to be Mikey's tag team partner.
Darn right.
But Whipwreck's like, I don't want that. So he hands the tag title back to Scorpio. Cactus Jack attacks Too Cold once again with a clothesline that sends them both over to the floor, before jumping back in the ring to celebrate, even with Mikey not really liking it. It's the second time that Mikey and Cactus Jack have been tag team partners. And not really because Mikey wanted to be.
Yeah, he's like...
The first time, Cactus just kind of threw Mikey around.
Yeah.
This time, Whipwreck's a little bit more established.
Kind of a star now. Kind of...
The star in all the bingo halls.
Championship.
We then go to our fourth match. The Eliminators of Perry Saturn and John Kronus with Jason versus the Pitbulls of number 1 and number 2 with Francine. So number 1 and Saturn start us off with Perry hitting a Northern Light suplex for a 2 count, but he then charges into a big boot and a clothesline before receiving a snap suplex for a near fall. Number 2 and Kronus then come in to trade strikes before number 2 delivers a power slam, but John comes right back with a dragon suplex. Number 2 hits a drop kick and goes to run the ropes, only for Saturn to distract him, allowing Kronus to attack from behind. The Eliminators with a double team headbutt, Perry with a spinning kick, and a springboard clothesline that sends number 2 to the floor, followed by a helping hand from John to moonsault over the ropes onto number 2.
Old PB2, a nice catch and protection of Saturn on the way down.
Professional.
Number 2 basically no-sells the move, so Jason grabs hold of him, allowing Perry to leap off the top turnbuckle with a clothesline, only for number 2 to move, forcing the sexiest man on earth to take the blow.
Take that, Jason.
Right.
But then Cronus comes flying out onto number 2, only for number 1 to show up with multiple chair shots for everybody. Frying pans, clotheslines, back elbows, cookie sheets, guardrails, ring posts, toilet brushes are all some of the things that are used to bust open the Eliminators.
Yeah, nothing like a toilet brush to the face.
Damn right.
Back in the ring, number 1 with an arm wrench heel kick, a drop toe hold, followed by number 2 coming in with a flying elbow drop on Saturn. Number 2 then gets neutered with a low blow, allowing Cronus to come in with a body slam and a handspring splash for a 2 count.
I mean, Cronus did a handspring splash.
He's been watching his Muda, guys.
He weighs 2 Mudas.
John continues with a back suplex, only for number 2 to no-sell once again, allowing the Pitbulls to deliver a double-team back suplex, with number 1 making a jackknife pin for a near fall.
Pitbull 2 has been watching the Road Warrior matches.
Number 1 has his whip attempt reversed, but he avoids a charging Cronus, nailing a hip toss for a 2 count, before applying a chin lock and transitioning it into an arm breaker. The Pitbulls then team up with a double clothesline, but John hits another low blow to number 2, allowing him to make a tag so the Eliminators can hit a double team kick. Saturn misses a clothesline, so number 2 picks him up for a tombstone piledriver. He goes to run the ropes, only for Jason to trip him up. Number 2 then drags the sexiest man on earth up to the apron, only for Perry to kick him from behind, sending number 2 out to the floor. Saturn whips number 2 into a Jason clothesline before rolling back into the ring to deliver a total elimination. Cronus with a body slam, and he comes off the second rope with a moonsault for a near fall. And then he goes up top for a splash for a 2 count. John with a rolling Samoan drop, followed by Perry coming in off the top with a frog splash for a near fall. Saturn hits a tiger bomb and taunts number 1 to bring him into the ring to cause the distraction, so that Jason can hit a senton splash off the shoulders of Cronus. But number 2, again, no-sells a move, forcing the sexiest man on earth to bail out to the floor. Perry attacks from behind with a clothesline, followed by the Eliminators hitting a vertical suplex crossbody combo from the top rope for a 2 count. The Eliminators with another combo, this time of a backbreaker knee drop, before Saturn hits a body slam and a flying elbow drop. But again, number 2 no-sells it. So the Eliminators hit a clothesline sandwich to take him down. Perry tosses number 2 the ropes, only for them to both hit clotheslines for a double KO. Number 2 then crawls his way to the corner for the hot tag. Number 1's laying everybody out with right hands when Jason would grab him from behind, allowing Saturn to go for a clothesline, only for number 1 to move, causing the sexiest man on earth to take the blow. Number 2 press slams Perry over the ropes onto Jason, while number 1 inside cradles Kronus, only for the ref to be distracted by what number 2 just did.
Damn it, number 2.
The Pitbulls hit a whip-aided spinning wheel kick, followed by a belly-to-belly suplex on John. Followed up with a double-team clothesline on Saturn, a hard attack to Kronus to send all of them over the ropes to the floor. The Pitbulls then climb back into the ring to deliver a super bomb to Perry, where they make the cover, but Jason is still distracting the ref. Francine starts attacking the sexiest man on earth, which brings number 1 down to the floor to help with a vertical suplex onto the timekeeper's table, allowing the Eliminators to hit total elimination on number 2 for the pin and the win.
Yeah, the bell rings, but you don't actually see the pin in the ring. But hey, you know, whatever. They still win over Pitbull 2, who no-sold everything they did.
Yeah. I'm surprised he took the total elimination. Tommy Dreamer then makes his way to the ring for his match with Raven. But only Stevie Richards, Blue Meanie, and Beulah come out. Gertner even starts making the announcements, saying there are no countouts or disqualifications, with the winner facing Sandman later in the evening for the world title. When Stevie takes the mic and says Raven won't wrestle tonight, as he broke his leg. Yeah, that's what's wrong with him.
That's the ticket.
Before telling Dreamer he has to face the Meanie instead. Tommy calls it all bullshit, insulting Raven as Blue Meanie attacks him, leading us to our 5th match. Tommy Dreamer versus the Blue Meanie with Stevie Richards and Beulah. And Meanie attempts a backdrop, only for Tommy to counter it into a DDT for the pin and the win. Post-match, Stevie then attacks Dreamer, so we get our 6th match. Tommy Dreamer versus Stevie Richards with Blue Meanie and Beulah. Stevie's hitting forearms, sending Tommy to the ropes, only for him to come back with a leaping DDT for the pin and the win. Post-match, Beulah jumps in the ring, so Dreamer grabs her and looks to attempt a piledriver, when Raven would throw some ring steps into the ring at him.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they were ring steps or it looked like a T cart. It was very funny. But he puts up for that pile driver, let's say, politely, laces out. Like, it is just an excuse to see her panties.
And that's when he knew he loved her.
But that leads us into our 7th match. Tommy Dreamer versus Raven, with Stevie Richard, Blue Meanie, and Beulah in a number 1 contenders match.
This all escalated quickly.
Raven uses the steps some more before tossing Tommy to the floor, where he whips Dreamer hard enough into the guardrail to bend them. More guardrails, followed by putting Tommy through a table with a pescado. Back in the ring, Raven hits some headbutts and chokes until Dreamer begins to fire up with right hands, nailing multiple DDTs on Raven and Stevie, who have jumped into the ring. Raven's tossed out to the floor, where Tommy uses weapons such as a chair, a cheese grater, the toilet brush,
It's a return.
a boom box,
Toilet brush to the nuts. Cheese grater cuts him open.
and a trash can lid that all bust Raven open. They go into the crowd momentarily, but then Dreamer drags Raven out of the building, where they fight in the snow, which busts Tommy open.
Yeah, he they go out to the snow, hit each other, and then Raven either whips or reverse whips Tommy just into the wall of the building, or the concrete, the brick wall of the building, and then they go right back in.
They brawl their way back to the ring, where Dreamer goes low before trying for a leaping forearm, only for Raven to move, causing Tommy to take out the ref.
Ref bump.
Raven grabs hold of Dreamer, while Beulah comes in the ring with a can of hairspray, only for Tommy to move when she starts spraying, so Raven gets blinded instead.
She's got that new school atomizer.
Raven comes in to check on Raven, but the blind DDT Stevie by accident, followed by Dreamer hitting a DDT on Raven for a near fall. Tommy then places Raven in a tree of woe to deliver mounted punches to the balls, before grabbing a piece of the broken table to set in the ring so that he can pile drive Raven onto it.
Yeah, he just takes it looks like they cut it previously, but it is from the table they broke, but it just looks like they cut it perfectly. Maybe it was scored really well, but he just sets it on the bottom rope. Looks like a little backyard bicycle ramp, yeah.
Tommy has a fan throw him a chair, before whipping Raven to a corner, following in with a chair-aided splash, only for Raven to pull the ref into the path to knock him down.
Ref up. I mean, how many times can we say it, folks?
Richards jumps in the ring to hit a Stevie kick, but the ref's still out, so there's no count. Richards then orders Blue Meanie to the top for a moonsault, only for Dreamer to move, but he walks right into a Raven DDT onto the chair for the pin and the win. Post-match, Stevie's jumping for joy while Raven stumbles his way to the back. So Raven's our number one contender.
Yeah, I mean, yes he is. That was a lot.
It definitely was a lot.
At least it happened quickly.
Absolutely. We go to our 8th match. El Puerto Riqueno versus Bruiser Mastino. And the last time we saw Bruiser was at Royal Rumble 95, episode 141, when he was Mantar.
Oh, he's Mantar.
What?
Did you not get that from the crowd yelling Mantar at him?
I couldn't hear them. Sometimes it's rough on those ECW audio, but that's funny, and I wish I had. I also noticed that maybe towards the back of the, where the wrestlers are coming out of, the back, there's a very large man, a man of large carriage. Is that Big Val?
I'm
pretty sure that's Big Val, because that's a big boy.
Let's not have him return.
I mean, I don't think he's not on this show, but I was just Big Val getting the $50 security job.
Was it Big Val or was it the
Sal Balamo?
No, the big guy that knew Jack.
Oh,
it wasn't Mass Transit.
No, Mass Transit was just a local talent, or whatever.
That hadn't happened yet.
No, that's not even.
Was
Mass
he
Transit
that one night?
Totally not a real wrestler.
Yeah, it was just one night.
He was somebody that hung around.
No,
he was just like a kid that they needed to have for a match because somebody wasn't able to. Yeah, wasn't him.
Probably Sabu hiding under a table somewhere, right?
Yeah, and New Jack decided to Macho Man somebody that is never sniffed the feet of Ric Flair.
So Riqueno sticks and moves, hitting a drop kick, multiple right hands, and a clothesline. But nothing is getting Bruiser down until he trips him up from behind and walking on his back. Mastino responds with a clothesline, a vertical suplex, a belly-to-belly suplex, and starts choking El Puerto. Bruiser then misses a corner splash, so Riqueno comes off the top with a missile drop kick from every corner, before trying for a flying crossbody, only to be caught and dropped with a power slam for the pin and the win.
Do you think he's just able to come in and get... He was Mantar. It's like that he just gets to come here and smash a guy that is obviously a better, more capable worker off of being Mantar.
Let's see what happens.
Post-match, Mastino gives several more power slams, so the fans start chanting for 911. And they get their wish as he arrives, shoving Bruiser. 911 shakes off some punches and delivers a choke slam, followed by Bill Alfonso showing up with whistle blowing, saying he banned the choke slam and shoves 911.
Bad idea.
Todd Gordon then runs down to attack Fonzie when Taz shows up to stop that, only for 911 to grab Bill for a choke slam. So the human suplex machine has to stop that as well. Mastino attacks 911 from behind, so he gets another choke slam, as Taz and 911 then stare each other down.
Taz is not afraid of 911.
Wrestlers from the back begin to fill the ring to break them apart.
There's a first time for everything, folks.
Only for 911 to just start choke slamming anyone that gets in his way, while Gordon and Fonzie go back to brawling as well. Taz ends up pulling Bill out of the ring to head to the back, while more people, such as JT Smith, get choke slammed. Everyone is now out of the ring, except for Stevie Richards, the Blue Meanie, Sign Guy Dudley, and Dances with Dudley. And they all start dancing.
Sometimes you gotta bust a move.
Which brings out Bubba and the rest of the Dudley clan.
See the Dudley 316 sign? It's still pre-Austin. I need a 30 for 30 on the 316 pre-Austin.
Bubba Ray shows them all how to dance right in Blue Meanie's face before slapping him. Stevie then grabs a mic telling Bubba that Raven and he are not happy with him, because at this point Dudleys were technically still part of the nest.
It's a deep nest, sir. There's a new Dudley every show.
Bubba Ray stutters his way through his name when Richard slaps him, followed by telling him that he has to beat the Meanie or Raven will fire him. Bubba Ray tells Stevie, "Fuck you and your Blue Meanie," which causes the Blue Meanie to attack from behind and lead us to our 9th match. Bubba Ray Dudley with the Dudleys versus the Blue Meanie with Stevie Richards.
Fuck him up, Bubba. Fuck him up.
Meanie actually hits the moonsault.
Oh my god.
Only for Bubba Ray to power out and go for a Bubba Bomb. But Big Dick Dudley smacks him in the head with his crutch to remind him that the Blue Meanie is too heavy. So Bubba Ray then body slams Meanie before going up top for a flying headbutt for the pin and the win. Post-match, the Dudleys continued to attack the Blue Meanie with a choke slam, elbow drops, and a flying splash. Stevie then grabs the mic and he's just trying to joke it all off, like,
This guy knew you could do it.
I knew you could do it.
Because he loves Big Dick.
The Dudleys are great. Loving Big Dick.
Then the crowd chants, which I think is, "Oh Stevie, you're so fine. You suck Big 9." They have some very wildly I don't know if creative is the right word, but
it's a long chant.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird long chants in this show, and that was one that I was trying to figure out. It's like, suck what? And I was like, all I could come up with was Big 9. I was like, I don't know, because it had to rhyme, and either way,
Richards continues telling the Dudleys, Meanie doesn't mean anything to me, guys. But the Dudleys don't believe him at all.
No.
So they just wave him off and leave the ring. But once they're gone, Stevie hugs Blue Meanie.
Oh yeah,
he does really actually.
It's very, very cartoony. Yeah, he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it."
But we go to our 10th match, the Sandman with Woman versus Raven with Stevie Richard and Beulah for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. The champion comes out first. Foreshadowing? Or just the longest entrance ever.
Gotta have a secret.
It's long. Hey, Joey lets us know this is a first-time matchup. A protected match.
As Gertner's making his announcement, Stevie grabs the belt and poses with it, but hands it back as soon as the Sandman notices. Sandman then takes a swig of beer and spits it in Richard's face. So Stevie responds by grabbing a beer himself, taking a drink, but he he doesn't like that taste at all.
No. All the while, Raven is just chilling, sitting on the mat in the corner.
As Sandman starts to finish off his beer, Raven attacks, stomping and choking away on the Sandman before tossing him out to the floor. Sandman's tossed into multiple guardrails until he can reverse a whip that ends up sending Raven into the crowd.
Did you see the guy with the amazing airbrush t-shirt that's just a face of woman, Nancy Sullivan?
I did not.
It's a pretty great shirt. It's just a giant airbrush t-shirt. It's just woman's face. It was great. It was done well.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, I was like, oh, where the hell did he get this?
Raven returns and goes for a DDT, but Sandman blocks, allowing him to hit an elbow drop and a not-so-rubber band slam across the guardrail, followed by a guillotine leg drop from the apron. Raven hits a low blow before they return to the ring to keep up the attack, only for Sandman to nail him with a back elbow to slow the momentum. Sandman then goes for an elbow drop, only for Raven to move and hit a snap suplex for a 2 count. But Sandman comes right back with a running forearm and tossing Raven out to the floor. Sandman dumps Raven into the first row, pulling the guardrail closer to the ring to give him room to leap over the ropes.
Because he knows he can't leap.
With his cane in hand onto Raven.
And then he looks at the camera and says, "You gotta keep them separated." And I was like, "What? Were you just listening to Smash on
Raven's music?"
Oh, we never hear it.
It makes more sense now.
Why does he come out to something? He wears Ministry t-shirts and then comes out to the Offspring, which is kid music. That's funny. That's very funny.
I'm pretty sure.
It would make sense because I was confused. I was like, was he just jamming Smash on the way up here? I feel like Raven should be coming out to something more morose. I'll be very disappointed to hear that Raven came out to the Offspring. That's such a terrible choice.
Everclear.
Yeah. At least Everclear's songs are about being sad that you don't have a dad, which totally fits the stereotype of Raven's attire and mood.
Yeah, come out and play. Keep them separated.
Oh my gosh, Raven, get a new song.
Raven's rolled back into the ring, so Sandman tries for a slingshot senton, only for Raven to roll out to the floor. So Sandman then tries for a slingshot plancha, which lands. Sandman suplexes the timekeeper's table onto Raven, but a low blow puts Raven back in control, setting the table up on the guardrail, only for Sandman to reverse the whip, sending Raven through the table.
He must have, learned some stuff from old Cactus.
Sandman smushes Raven in between the table before coming off the apron with an elbow drop, but Raven avoids. They head back into the ring where Sandman whips Raven from corner to corner until they both go for clotheslines that ends up knocking out the ref as well.
Ref bump.
For the triple KO.
Yeah, did you guys notice that Sandman looks like he got a little thinner? So he's trimmed up a little bit?
I thought that, but maybe he's switched to light beard.
I'm thinking that maybe he's switched to nose candy.
That could be.
He might have. Maybe Paulie's paying at the moment.
I mean, they are in New York.
They're partying.
Stevie gets in the ring and jumps on the back of Sandman, so Woman enters as well to cane Richards. She also canes Raven, only for him to just absorb the blows, stealing the cane away, allowing Sandman to attack from behind. But Stevie comes back with a wet floor sign to the head of Sandman. Raven is now caning Sandman, and Richards is helping as well, when Tommy Dreamer would roll into the ring, grab the cane, and just nail everyone with it several times.
You get a whooping. You get a whooping.
Beulah then comes running into the ring to check on Raven, but Tommy grabs her and finally is able to deliver that pile driver.
Pussy out.
Before leaving to the back.
I love that Tommy does this the Goldberg style head or warrior head shakes when he's got her up in the pile driver. He's just it's pretty animated for Tommy Dreamer.
Did a snapper in half.
Raven and Sandman make it back to their feet to trade strikes when Cactus Jack would arrive to nail a double arm DDT to Sandman for the pin And no, Sandman kicks out. Raven then places Sandman on the top rope, but the superplex is blocked, and Sandman nails a top rope bulldog for the pin and the win.
All right then.
Sandman's still our champion, guys.
Yeah. My MVP was in my nickname. Before we even get there, John Finnegan. How many crazy bumps is the man going to take? It's just a ref bump all night long, and that crazy, the ending stretch of this match, he sells a ref bump for like 5+ minutes, just in the ring.
Yeah.
He doesn't out on the floor or anything, doesn't roll out to the floor. It was just dead in the ring. On his behalf, he is kind of like still like plays off being like groggy, even like after the pin or whatever, but still, man, it's pretty wild.
Could have been a ref.
I
could have been a ref.
You could have been.
That's all it takes. Just, I fell down. Oh, I got poked in the eye, and now I have to lay here for 12 minutes while they do whatever on their side of the ring.
It's all it takes in ECW.
Be great. The money was like.
In ECW, probably not so much. Yeah, in other places, probably a lot better.
I wonder if the Sandman would share his blow.
I'm sure. Probably. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has way more energy, and his eyes are more alive than normal. And I think that they probably got they hit up the King of New York or maybe a Nino Brown type guy.
We then get our 11th match: Public Enemy of Rocco Rock and Johnny Grunge versus the Gangstas of New Jack and Mustafa Saeed. So Joey tells us this was actually originally supposed to be Public Enemy versus the Heavenly Bodies, but Tom Pritchard had totally flipped, mentioning fans would get the joke in a couple of weeks.
Flipped? Does that mean he... What do they mean by that?
So as mentioned on our last ECW show, Dr. Tom is now part of the Body Donnas.
Oh, so yeah.
And his name was going to be Flip, but before he appeared on TV, they had changed it to Zip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was like Flip. I was like, oh, he went to WWF or whatever. But the Flip thing, I was like,
yeah, because I guess Skip and Flip wouldn't have been a good sounding tag team.
I would say that
Donnas.
Flip and Zip.
Skip and Zip are so much better.
Oh,
yeah, totally. And Zip.
Yeah,
Yep.
Zip.
I guess that's what they thought of Dr. Tom Pritchard, but I don't feel that way.
They just asked him to shut his mouth.
Yeah.
Zip it.
So Gangstas rush the ring and they break into pairs to brawl, with New Jack using a noose on Grunge, hanging him over the ropes. Rock and Saeed are in the ring as Rocco delivers a moonsault, while everyone starts using weapons on the outside on each other. Rocco flies over the ropes with a plancha onto Mustafa, while Johnny and Jack end up back in the ring with chairs and garbage pail lids, before a bulldog into a chair. Rock has gone through a table somehow as the cameras just missed it, and everyone's busted open already.
It took all of 2.5 minutes max.
As New Jack rakes Grunge's head with a fork before running him into pieces of wood and a chair on the floor.
That'll help it.
Saeed delivers a power slam for a near fall on Rocco back inside the ring, keeping up the attack with several elbow drops until Johnny nails him with a walking cane.
I swear Mustafa Ali did a moonsault, which is crazy. But it's hard to catch everything in a match like this.
Rock has a frying pan to use on Jack, but New Jack comes back with a stun gun, only for Grunge to roll into the ring to hit a frying pan to the boys, followed by a shot to Mustafa as well. Public Enemy brings a table into the ring, placing Saeed onto it, followed by Rocco coming off the top with a moonsault, but the table doesn't break, so Mustafa just rolls off.
Is that what you were thinking of?
No.
Taking a moonsault instead of giving?
No, I'm thinking he gave one earlier in the ring when it was him and Rocco, I believe, in the ring, and Grunge was on the floor bleeding with New Jack. They didn't score that table.
So Johnny and Jack are brawling on the floor while Saeed hits a back suplex on Rock before putting Rocco through the table somehow, as once again the cameras missed it.
Yeah, maybe it kind of looked like a Vader Bomb-esque splash.
Grunge comes running back into the ring with a clothesline to Mustafa for a 2 count. But Saeed comes back with a body slam on Johnny, only for them to then miss a knee drop. Public Enemy delivers a drive-by to Mustafa, but New Jack has the ref distracted, so no count is made. Rock gets up and is complaining to the ref, allowing Jack to nail him with a chair, which causes him to fall back into a Saeed roll-up for the pin and the win.
Gangsta, gangsta. That's what they're yelling. It's not about a salary, it's all about reality.
All this brawling and weaponry, and we get a fucking roll-up.
Yeah, I mean, it was a true garbage match.
All right.
I'm pumped the Gangsters won.
Yeah, it's good to see someone win other than Public Enemy every once in a while.
Exactly. We've been pretty tired of Public Enemy. Not that the Gangsters do much more, but they're obviously cooler. They like look cooler and they look meaner and they don't dance.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Public Enemy have like a going away party match thing where they were supposed
That's
to
not until House Party 96.
Oh, okay. Damn it, I got all excited.
That's our next ECW show.
Damn it, I got all excited. I thought they were done after that last one.
Have you seen House Party 96 before?
No.
Oh, how do you know that?
On the last show, they were talking about their farewell from ECW, so I thought that meant that
this would be
since they were featured so much in that show that they were going to be done. But
I mean, been featured a little too much for quite a while.
Yep.
I guess that's why we brought in the Eliminators. We need a tag team to fill the hole the Public Enemy will leave. I don't know.
Eliminators to eliminate the enemy.
We then go to our 12th match. Cactus Jack versus Sabu.
Cactus Jack, one half of the new tag team champion.
That's right.
And, kind of getting in everybody's mess tonight with double arm DDTs multiple times in multiple different matches.
Hey, don't come extreme if you don't expect extreme.
So Jack takes the mic, saying WCW sucks, before telling the story of making a fan's dream come true. And tonight he's going to do it. They're going to have an Olympic rules style match.
Yeah, he tells this big long story about a fan with a broken leg or something.
Well, that fan is the referee Pee Wee Moore.
Oh my gosh, Pee Wee Moore.
And the ref begins to explain the rules. Basically, it's 2 points for a takedown, a point for escapes. Stalling results in points deductions, and no strikes or weapons are allowed. Seems like the perfect kind of match for Cactus Jack and Sabu to have, right?
Yeah, I do appreciate that Jack really goes on this long diatribe that gets the crowd already annoyed before he even announces that.
You get disqualified if you throw them over the top rope.
Probably not, because it's just a point deduction.
Okay.
So after Sabu gets in the ring, the ref is trying to explain to him what's going on, when 911 makes his way out, and he choke slams Pee Wee several times.
Pee Wee, no!
Before saying this isn't Olympic-style wrestling, he wants to see a fight, and he will be the ref.
Yeah.
So the Homicidal One attacks as Pee Wee tries to get out of the ring, grabbing a chair for an air Sabu, but Jack has retreated to the floor to regroup. So the Homicidal One just leaps off the chair over the ropes with a somersault plancha.
Sabu, Sabu.
Back in the ring, Sabu sets Cactus Jack across the ropes, allowing him to come off the top with a leg drop, followed by a springboard wheel kick. The Homicidal One then grabs another chair for another attempted air Sabu, only for Jack to nail him with a back elbow on his way down. Cactus Jack then grabs the chair, but he hesitates momentarily, but gives into the urge to deliver a chair shot, before hitting a pair of double-arm DDTs, including one on the chair for a 2 count. Now, this entire time, Styles has been keeping a running count
It's very
as
funny.
if they are still an Olympic-style match.
Yeah, it's really great work. But I mean, it's Joey Styles. He's always good.
Jack then sends Sabu out to the floor, following out with a chair-assisted elbow drop from the apron, before running him into the guardrail and biting him. Sabu then fires back with several chair shots in the aisleway, before going back into the ring, where Cactus Jack goes for a clothesline, only for the Homicidal One to duck, causing Jack to end up with his neck stuck between the ropes.
In perfect fashion. It's pretty crazy how smoothly he gets into that spot. I had to rewind it a few times. I was like, oh my gosh. I turned into Joey Styles. Except for I said gosh, because I don't use the Lord's name in vain. And Joey lets us know how Cactus lost in the air. Maybe he's ready to lose another one tonight.
Cactus Jack gets unstuck by an air Sabu before the Homicidal One jumps off the apron with a chair-assisted splash, only for Jack to move, sending Sabu into the railing.
Yeah, the chair on his chest into the steel. It's like, it's amazing Sabu
Is still alive.
Is still alive. Yeah, I mean, we can say that about Cactus Jack, Mick Foley all the time as well, but Sabu was, I would say, more reckless because he does flips and shit, and they're never crispy. They're always sloppy.
Yeah.
Jack then dumps a table onto the Homicidal One before setting it up and placing Sabu onto it. Cactus Jack then heads up to the second turnbuckle, only for this Homicidal One to recover for them to brawl on the apron, followed by a press slam onto the floor. Jack is then set on a chair while Sabu flies to the ropes with a tope suicida onto him. Back in the ring, a snapmare and a springboard leg lariat from the Homicidal One before grabbing another chair for a springboard chair-assisted leg lariat. The two brawl their way out to the apron where Cactus Jack rams Sabu's head into the turnbuckle, only for the Homicidal One to retaliate with a mule kick, followed by leaping off a chair over the ropes with a crossbody that sends them both through the table.
And they did the table thing pretty wonderfully considering, because the whole point is you set it up and then you want to forget about it. Yep. I totally forgot about it. So I'm giving them their flowers. That I totally forgot about the table, and then when they went through it, it was a surprise. And I was like, oh.
They make it back into the ring where Jack goes for an inside cradle for a near fall. But Sabu comes right back with more chair offense, including an Arabian press onto Cactus Jack's face. Jack is just pissed off at this point, laying it in with kicks, turnbuckle smashes, and he goes for a leg drop, only for the Homicidal One to move, allowing him to go to the top rope, where Cactus Jack catches up with him. But Sabu hits him with a chair in hand to knock him down.
The crowd's hot for Sabu, which is, though, I feel like the whole point of this show is to just bring Sabu up even higher.
The Homicidal One with a couple of more chair shots to the head before delivering an atomic Arabian facebuster for a near fall. Jack then goes for a body slam, but Sabu holds onto the ropes, causing him to fall on top of Cactus Jack for the pin and the win.
Joey lets us know that this is Olympic wrestling history. And someone throws a can into the ring.
After that, Joey says his goodbyes as we fade to black. So I ask you, gentlemen, what are your overall thoughts of Holiday Hell 1995?
I would say that it is not a must-watch, but I feel like a super solid road show. Like, if people are from New York and they like ECW but never took time to drive down to Philly, they kind of gave them a little bit of everything done decently. But it feels like a pumped up house show. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of how it came off to me.
I'd agree with that. What was it, 12?
Yeah.
Some of those are.
I mean,
there's
12 matches, but
it's really 9.
It's really 8.
Yeah, I have 8 on mine because stuff would just flow into each other, and I was like, I'm not gonna take time to write it down as a match or whatever. But there was a pin, so it was technically a match.
Yeah. Well, that being said, even though there were technically less matches than what we have written down, it just felt like a long show.
It was.
I mean, it's probably the longest ECW show that we've watched.
Maybe that was just more extreme than my brain was used to in one setting, but it just seemed like it went way long.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's great for New York fans.
Yeah.
Like, I think that they gave them an ECW show, but it doesn't feel super necessary, and it kind of wears out its way.
I mean, for the most part, I was having fun with this show, but it does drag in spots, especially like Eliminators, Pitbulls.
That match was crazy long, and I think that those guys, if they had a shorter match, it would be a better match.
Literally, you cut... I want to say it was like a 17, 18-minute match.
Felt longer.
Yeah, it felt longer. You cut 10 minutes off that. Probably because number 2, No Soul moves
for
like
7 minutes.
5 times.
Yeah.
Like, we get it.
He needs to, like, no-sell, twice, take a move,
Like,
and then
one
hot
big
tag.
no-sell, one big move, hit a big move, make the hot tag, move on with the match. It just, that one dragged. And then...
And I like both those teams, but this is not their best outing.
The last 2 matches... By the time I got to the last 2 matches, I was just kind of like...
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just kind of...
Buckle in.
Finish this. I mean, and neither one of the matches are bad. I was just tired of watching this show at that point.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're not bad, they're just not necessary, really.
Yeah, I think that the work of, like, Taz shit-talking Sabu, and then Cactus Jack going in there to be like, we're not going to do an ECW match, blah, blah, blah. I feel like it was just to put Sabu over the moon. And I think that they did it. Sabu did a bunch of wild shit. I would think that might be my favorite match of the show, but I don't know that I would rush out to tell anybody to watch this one or any even match specifically. I guess that would be the one.
Probably.
Yeah.
If not the Mikey and 2 Gold.
Yeah.
That was a fun match.
Yeah.
And then Sandman and Raven, it's like, well, I guess that, like, yeah, maybe if the show was shorter, those 3 matches would have helped carry it, but...
Yep. It just went on too long.
Yeah. Felt like there was more, like, character work, and, like, a lot of Stevie, and a lot of, like, Stevie character work and whatnot, and it's like, oh, well, I think they're just giving that to the New York crowd, because it seemed like even more than normal for a, like, 2.5 hour ECW show.
Good. Where's the smart marks at? All right, fuck you.
I think it's time we smark it up. So what are some of the best moments of this show?
I just am a Sabu fan in general, so I just love watching him do wildly reckless shit recklessly. So I enjoyed all of his chair shenanigans. He uses the chair like a young girl would use a ribbon in, like, ribbon dancing or whatever. He's just setting him up and jumping off of him and putting him under his leg and under his elbow. And they call the move the concerto, but Sabu, every time he's in the ring, creates a concerto.
I'm going to tell you right now, some of my favorite moments of this entire show are Stevie Richards and everything that he does.
He does great.
Stevie was great in this one.
He's super funny.
Like, just the small little things, like, were what was making this show entertaining to me. And, like, what matches is he not involved in on this show? The Eliminators versus the Pitbulls. And he's not involved in the Cactus Jack Sabu match, but that's a great match. But then also the Rocco, the Public Enemy Gangstas match. Those are the 2 matches that like really dragged the show down for me.
Yep.
Were the 2 tag matches.
Yeah.
And they're the 2 matches that Stevie was not in.
And we've talked about it a lot. The ECW tag matches, like, we think the Pitbulls have a lot of potential, and even the Eliminators have a lot of potential, but ECW tag matches a lot of the time just turn into a bunch of garbage, and like, we've seen a lot of it, and we're it's not particularly our thing. So,
I mean, when it's done well, it can be good.
yeah, I'm not saying,
But neither one of these were done.
They're not special.
Well,
no. They're by no means special.
No.
How many, like, if anything, we can blame Ian and Axel Rotten for doing it forever for too long, and now we're just like,
Yeah.
But, I mean, if it wasn't them, it would have been somebody else, I'm sure.
I enjoyed Taz.
Yeah, Taz, his character
attitude
works
towards the audience was great.
I think Taz setting up that, like, oh, Sabu fucking sucks, he's a pussy at the beginning of the show, and then Sabu coming out to just be full-on Sabu, I think was great, and establishes Taz further a heel, and Sabu even further the bananas ass babyface, with the help of Mick Foley.
I mean, the Joey Styles line with Missy Hyatt is, like I said earlier, maybe the best line ever.
Right about that.
Yeah, most surprising for me would be just Missy Hyatt showing up.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Missy.
Definitely wasn't expecting her.
What about most disappointing? I mean, we've kind of talked the two tag matches to death a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, we wish both of them. I mean, we all agree the Eliminators Pitbulls way too long.
Yes.
Gangstas and Public, that might have actually been the shortest match those two teams have ever had together.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know if it's not a bad match. At that point I was just kind of like, I didn't want to see that.
It didn't feel like it was really built up to
and the ending of the match was not like, that's a weird way for that kind of match to end with just a roll up.
Yeah, I think it's just that the Public Enemy is still, but you said that they're leaving soon, so they can get their ass beat on their way out.
Get out already.
How about best performer? I mean, it's Stevie for me. So
yeah,
I'd say Stevie's the.
If it's not
star
Stevie,
of
it's
this
maybe
one.
Joey. Joey had some great lines in this.
Yes, Joey was on for a guy that's typically on. I mean, I feel like Sabu. I'd put him up there just because I feel like we haven't had full on Sabu in a little while, and he was all in.
Yep.
JT for selling his boner.
Yes.
When he goes to the corner and
I was like, there's another moment that I'm thinking of, and I could not think what it was.
Is that the one you were thinking of?
No, just when I was thinking of best moments, I was like, there's something else that I'm like looking for, and I could not think of what it was. But yes, the selling the boner was great.
It was funny. And then Shane pointing out that could JT no longer be Italian after he lands on his head?
Very curious to find out.
It's funny to think that they would, because it's like him like jumping to the ropes or whatever and like botching it and then landing on his head. So it's like, well, is it planned? Is ECW like that nuanced?
How about most surprising? We talked Missy Hyatt.
Finding out Raven's music was
Yeah.
The Offspring.
What a disappointment. What a bad song for him to come out to. He should be coming out to something heavy.
Something Nirvana-ish.
Yeah, or even like a
deep
9 Inch Nails, or there's so many choices. He wears like a Ministry t-shirt all the time. Come out to a Ministry song, like something either like industrial or grunge or metal, something dark, and not Pearl Jam or Stone Temple Pilots, something with a little bit more like menace.
Cactus Jack being back, I didn't realize he was coming back. I thought he was going to be dropping up north any day now.
He's still got a little bit.
Okay.
Still a little time.
I always I'm never surprised when he shows up because
I was thinking,
but I don't know when he
early '96 or something.
It's the Raw after WrestleMania.
Okay.
Okay. It's like halfway through next year.
Episode 203.
It won't be that. It won't be that far away. It's not that far away.
Yeah.
How about the ghost wrestler story that I told you?
Oh yeah, come on. I gotta look it up. I don't know. Like I'm gonna just like YouTube FMW before I go to sleep, and just to see if what exists, and then I'll do the harder work later. But if it's up there, I'm gonna have to try to find those matches out of curiosity.
To even just like see the gimmick.
Yeah, I just want to see what I want to see
fun.
what it even looks like. You were talking about like ashes shooting out of a guy's pants.
Yeah, I was
guy,
just like
bleeding to death in the ring, and him like selling, like slowly dying while being the belt holder. Like I just want to see what what it fucking looks like.
It probably doesn't look good.
Probably not. It's probably better in my head.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's going to be one of those things that's so much better in my head than if I actually see it.
But with the whole story, which I probably wouldn't get if I just like turned on FMW with no English commentary, because there's not. I could probably, I can still appreciate the story, but I gotta see it.
And now for a look back even further into the history of wrestling.
The dusty finish.
Ric Flair had held the WWF Championship for over a month, but he would make his way to Canada for a house show, where the country's homegrown superstar, Bret Hart, was waiting on October 12th, 1992. Bret Hart, born 1957, was the 8th of 11 kids in the Hart wrestling family. He would help out at Stampede Wrestling as he grew up, and by 1976 was refereeing matches. Bret would make his official debut in 78, and would work there until the promotion was acquired by the WWF in 1984. Hart and Jim Neidhart would begin teaming as the Hart Foundation, going on to win the WWF Tag Team Championships a couple of times. In 91, the Hitman would break away to be a singles competitor, winning the Intercontinental Championship and the King of the Ring tournament. In 1992, Bret would face Roddy Piper at WrestleMania 8, pinning him to become the Intercontinental Champion for a second time, and becoming the first wrestler in the WWF to ever pin Piper. Bret Hart would become known as the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be during his career. For his accomplishments, the Hitman has been inducted into the Professional Wrestling Wrestler Observer Newsletter and twice into the WWE Hall of Fame. Bret Hart would defend the title until the next WrestleMania, when he would square off with a man from the Orient.
Roddy Piper, Bret Hart, WrestleMania 8, maybe one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. I think it's like one of the best WWF just matches in general. Piper laying down for Hart, the blood, the drama of it all is incredible. It is not what people would call a work rate match, but it is a great wrestling match, I think. And I think about it all the time.
And the first wrestler in 8 years in WWF to pin him.
Yeah.
Well, even more than 8 years. That's just 8 WrestleManias.
Yeah, Piper's just... Yeah, that's pretty impressive for Piper to do that for Bret Hart, but it's Bret Hart, and Piper knew that it was worth laying down for him.
You've known Bret since he was a little kid.
Next week, Dusty Finish Volume 3.
History break.
Yeah. So we'll put all those Dusty Finishes that we record every week.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Put them all together.
Yeah. It'll inspire you to go back and watch the matches or watch the matches for the first time, because you'll hear a thing. It happens to me every week when Matt reads it, that I'm like, damn, I'd like to watch that again. Or it jogs my memory about a thing that I typically enjoyed.
Yeah.
But music from this week's show is Thunder Kiss 65.
5-5.
Yeah.
By White Zombie. And Sabu won our main event, so we play his theme music, Little Fight by Crazy. And if you like this episode or any of our other ones, please go out there, rate and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you find your podcasts at. Do as Michael says.
5 stars or no stars. Not all shows are 5 stars. This show wasn't a 5-star show. I mean, we did a great job. But, it wasn't a 5-star ECW show.
No, definitely not. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns,
recipes, drink ideas, I'm sure we're going to end up back in Philly at some point in the near future.
Oh, we definitely
so, send me some ideas. Yeah.
We're going to go to some new places in 96 once we get there. We're going to have a couple weeks with our
branch out
clip shows type stuff, but we'll hit 96 after that and we'll have some fun.
Yeah.
But you can do all that stuff. You can send them to us on our email at wrestlinghistoryx@gmail.com. or find us on Twitter at Wrestling HistoX. That's Wrestling HISTOX. We'll talk to you next week.
Later.